lecture. Okay. Those who are joining us, who join us as we go on. Otherwise, we won't do anything. So let me share the screen. Okay, are you able to see? Hello, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. If I say we are going to have a class at 7, you have to be punctual. It's on the dot. So those who join us, well and good. If those they don't want to join because they can connect wherever they are. So yesterday we ended at types of the what? We ended at the ACA classes, where we said there are different type of ACAs. ACA classes, we have black hat. We explain what black hat is. We explain white hat ACA is, who are individual ACAs who are skills for defense purpose and are also known as security analysts. Individuals, we talked about gray ACA, gray hat, we have suicide, and then we have script kids. We talked about that. So there are different type of classes of hackers, whereby we have cyber terrorists, we have state sponsored, we have activists. So we have different type of hackers, which all of you should know. Okay, let us proceed. If there is a question, please, you can ask me now before I move next to next slide. Any queries on the yesterday's presentation? Perhaps some. Any queries?
No queries.
Don't have a question.
Okay, that is lovely then. Let us continue. Attacker should gather information about the target. Before you attack, you have to have the information about it. For example, about the organization. You should know the organization very well so that you attack it. So you can't attack something which you don't know. No. So you have to ensure that you first you gather the information about that particular individual. Equally, when you are looking for a woman, you should get the information about that. Even if you can meet him for the first time, but it's very, very important to gather the information. So, reconnaissance is referred to that you prepare yourself, you gather the information about the targeted, the person whom you have targeted. You need to you need to to gather information about that, about an individual. Even those people who kills people, they don't just go and kill people anyhow. No, they have to get the information about those people. They normally get the information about the targeted. If they target to Siame, they have to gather the information, how he moves, how he do whatever he does. Want to attack in Ngurube, Sydney, you have to ensure that you get the information about that particular person. So it is very, very important, that the information about about that particular person. Equally, in the reconnaissance, they gather the information about that particular So if I ask you the meaning of reconnaissance, ensure that you explain to me without any problem. So there you should ensure that you gather information about someone. You gather the information about someone, how, for example, if you want to attack an institution, you are supposed to know what time, what time they go to sleep, what time are the people not using their network. So you have to gather the information and attack. Could be the future point of return, not for easy of entry for an attack, when more about the target is known on a broad scale. Cognition's target range may include the target organization, organizational client, employee, operation, network, and system. So, meaning before you attack, you have to ensure you get the information of that particular organization. So, it can be about employee. You target the employee, for example, the people who are disgruntled, who can give you the information. How do they operate? Their network, is it a ring topology? Is it a star? You should know all those things so that you attack nicely. So, reconnaissance is referred to the preparation of an attacker of gathering the information about the targeted uh, 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 person. So on the reconnaissance, we have two types of, again, there are types of 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 reconnaissance. So the recognition type, we have two types. The first one, we have passive reconnaissance, which say passive reconnaissance involve acquiring information without direct interaction with the target. We can get the information, I can get the information about you. I can get the information about Maria Virginie. I can get the information about Kachoka without interacting, without even communicating, but I can get the information. That is what we call passive, where I gather the information about you without knowing what I'm doing. So, for example, searching public record or news released, I can get the information about you without you knowing. That type of reconnaissance is passive reconnaissance. I can give you an example whereby, or I can bring a question whereby I start with the explanation, and then I say, can you name this type of reconnaissance? And then it's you to decide to write whether it's passive or or active. Okay. Another type is active reconnaissance. Active reconnaissance involve interacting with the target direct by any means, whereby we can call each other, we can communicate, you can talk, you can WhatsApp here and there. So that is active reconnaissance. So any queries about that before we go to another? Please take note of these guys. As we go on, these things will keep on building up, and I don't want any confusion. We have already started. We have talked about non-recognitions. So if I may ask, you should tell me. Okay. Okay. So, who can you tell me what do you understand by the term reconnaissance? Who can try? Hey, can you talk? We don't want to talk with guys. It's morning. Who can try? Labson. Hello? You are quiet, you guys. Aaron, are you there? Clinton Chintu. Yes, yes, Jackson. Yes, Jackson.
So recognition, there is passive and active recognition.
How can you differentiate them?
So by passive recognition, uh, it's the recognition whereby you gather someone's information without approaching them directly, and
Okay,
active
that is
recognition
that's
whereby you gather their information directly.
okay. Okay, that is lovely. So we said passive. There is passive where you can't interact with that particular person. You're just gathering the information about that particular person without him or her knowing. Active, you have to ensure that you actively you interact with that particular person through telephone, through WhatsApp, through different emails, and so forth and so forth, so on and so forth. Okay, if there is no question, let us move a bit. Let us go to hacking phases. There are different type of hacking phases. So we have scanning. What is scanning? So pre-attack phase, scanning refer to the pre-attack phase when the attacker scan the network for specific information on the basis of information gathering during reconnaissance. So scanning, someone can come. Yes, yes. Who is he?
William,
Someone want to talk? Eh?
yes, yes, but a screen tide is gonna.
What do I want to do? It's on network. Can you just join and rejoin?
Okay.
You just join and enjoy. You join and join and then you join. If others are able to see, meaning I'm on, I'm on, I'm on. So it means it's you who has the problem. So, guys, if you look at these things, the things are becoming more and more confusing. So, ensure that you go through this. We have talked about reconnaissance. What is reconnaissance? It's gathering of the information about the targeted. If you want to attack, I want to attack Kapasamakasa, I have to gather the information. Again, there are two types of recognitions. We have active and passive. Active, we are talking of you don't interact that particular person, but you are gathering her, he or her information or, or about that network. Passive, you communicate. Again, we have now come to what hacking phases. There are different type of phases. We have pre-attacking phase, which is scanning. Here you are just gathering the information. It's gathering the information. It's reconnaissance. But here you are just scanning the network. So scan refer to a pre-attack phase when the attacker scan the network for specific information on the basis of information gathering during reconnaissance. So you scan and see how best you can get the information about that particular network. So you can scanning can include use of dialer, port scanning, you scan the port, network mappers, ping tool, through pinging and then vulnerability scanning. All these will do the what the you do this you do this as practical with the Clifford Seattle. So there is the extract information and attack extract information such as live machine, what machine, how many machines are live, how many machines are on. Scan about the port where this machine is connected. Port status, is it open on the switch? There are ports on the switch there, where you hook in the connection. Is it open? Is it closed? You get the information about operating system. Is that particular person using Windows 7? Is it using operating system? What type of operating system? Is it using Linux? Is it using Windows or Server 2020 or Server 2024 or Server? All those you have to get detail. What type of this device? System uptime. What time do they switch on the system? What time when they switch off that particular server or computer? All these you have to know it. You have to ensure that you get that information. Another hacking phase. Remember, we are tackling phases, and then if you check, we have started with scanning phase. Now we are on hacking phase, which is gaining access. What is that? So here it's just simple reconnaissance. We gain access refer to the point where the attacker obtain access to the operating system or application on the computer network. This is. You can see the other young man who is an attacker. So we are saying that an attacker can gain access at the operating system level, application level, network level. I think I talked about this. I talked about application. I talked about system level. Remember, I talked about these. So if you check, you can know that really things are becoming whatever we are doing now. We talked about briefly. I think I talked about something yesterday. Here, it can be. I can hear you guys. Someone is asking me something.
Yes, sir. I think me, I'm unable to see the screen. I've rejoined. I've dismissed and rejoined, but I'm unable to see it.
Okay, let me myself join. Let me and join and let me do this. If it will make you happy, let me. Okay, are you able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Hello, are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we talked about passive. Okay, we talked about passive, and then we talked about gaining. As you can see, the attacker gain access at the operating system level. It can do it on application level. It can go on the network level. Sometimes someone can go via the network there and attack. There, the attacker, the example include password cracking. You can crack your password, buffer flow, denial of service, session hijacking. When you enter in the system, you can do a lot whereby you can get your password, you can crack your password, you can do denial of service, whereby you are supposed to be doing something and then he deny you, you can't go in. For example, if someone has cracked your password, you can change that particular password. When you are just trying to enter in your system, you are denied. You can't even enter in your system. You in your own system. The attacker can escalate privilege to obtain complete control of the system in the process. Intermediate systems that are connected to it, and it also compromises. So meaning when someone has hijacked your session or has denied you, he can get some privileges, can create other user accounts and start using those user accounts and ensure that he go further. That is all about that. Unless if there is a question before we say we go to maintaining access, hacking phase, maintaining access. Any queries before we move? Any queries? Any queries, guys? Okay, Rinson. Yes, yes, sir.
Kindly repeat on gaining access.
On what?
Gaining access.
I'm not getting you. On what, sir?
Yes, I'm saying that kindly repeat on gaining access, the phase, hacking phases.
Okay. We have different type of working phases. We have working phase, we have reconnaissance. We talked about that, where we said reconnaissance is gathering the information. We talked about the type of reconnaissance types. We have passive and active. Passive is gathering the information about that particular organization or about someone without him or her knowing. You can interact, you can able to interact without interaction. There is no interaction. Active, you can interact, you are interacting with that particular targeted person. You can even know that someone we are communicating with a friend. In the actual sense, we are communicating with someone who is dangerous. So we have hacking phase, we have scanning, where scanning you refer to the pre-attack phase when the attacker can scan for specific information, gathering the information, gathering your network, try to scan what type of ports, the ports which are open, which are closed, what type of operating system, what type of machines which you are using in that particular network, and what type of operating system which is there, what type of machines, what time is the system is off, what type of operating system are you using, is it Linux? That is gathering that information. Any queries there? Are you clear on that one? Sir Reynolds, are you clear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Are
I'm clear.
very clear.
Yes, sir.
Anyone with who is the doubting Thomas? Doubting Thomas? Maria, are you not doubting Thomas?
So I'm doubting Thomas. Repeat what you just said.
What I have said here, I've said a lot. I've said a lot, madam. Where exactly?
The last part, sir.
The last part I
Say
said,
that right.
last part I said, last part I was talking about scanning. When you are attacking, remember we were gathering the information about a certain organization. Now, one of the phase is to scan their network, to scan their network. we are gathering information without them knowing, or with them knowing that we are scanning. Sometimes you may call me as your friend. I am connected to your network. Maybe I came to visit you at Kapasamkasa there, and I use your phone to access your network, and I can scan the network. Or I can scan your network without you knowing, or I can scan. You can even know, we are scanning. In the actual sense, I'm getting some information. So, what type of information we are supposed to know? We are supposed to know what type of ports which are open, which are closed, because the ports, each network, each computer is connected to a certain port at a switch of the network. Each computer or each server is connected in one of the ports. So ensure that those ports, when they are not used, are supposed to be closed. They are supposed to be permanent closed. When you want to use it, it's supposed to be opened. So you are supposed to scan the network to know that whether you see the vulnerability, you try to see the vulnerability where that network, where is the vulnerable, meaning where is the weakness. You look at the machines, how many machines are alive, what time are they alive, what time do they switch off, what type of operating system do they use? Port status. We are talking about port status. We are talking of open port. Is it closed or open? So you are supposed to know that when scanning. Are you clear, Madam Mary, who seems to be a doubting Thomas?
I'm clear.
Are you clear? If I bring a question, are you going to answer here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Napita na yaine. Okay, let us look at hacking phase. Another hacking phase, we have gaining access, where I talked about the gaining access refer to a point where the attacker obtained access to the operating system. So meaning this hacker has entered in your system. So the attacker can access at the operating system level, application level, and network level, meaning he can do or he can attack, you can enter through the system at operating system level. So operating system, if the operating system is not well patched or an updated one, someone can find loophole and enter in the network. Sometimes your application can be very weak. Someone can use that one as an entry point where someone can enter and do a lot of damage. Okay. So I've talked about that. So we said the attacker, when an attacker enter in your system, he can crack your password, meaning he can even crack your password using other tools, which we'll explain later, because there are different type of tools which you can use to gain access. There are different tools which you can use to gain access. I feel pity on those people who are joining now, because most of the staff, things are becoming tense, and it's when they are joining. 7 hours class, please ensure that you are on time. 7 hours, whether you like it or not. It's better if me becoming late than you. Ensure that you are in on time. You can't join class at this particular time after 32 minutes. It's bad. Bad manners. Moreover, you are young. very young and vibrant, and you are joining class after 30 minutes, which is
Tell them,
bad.
sir. Tell them.
What were you doing? Because you are not supposed to do anything. Unless we elders. But we elders, we are coming early and then you doing. It's up to you. I don't want you to take me back. I'm mastering whatever I'm lecturing. I don't want you to be asking about the recognitions. You will study on your own. Please. 7 hours, sure. In the morning, you chaps, you are supposed to be there. Test people to You are supposed to be troubling me. Sir, we have connected. Sir, we are what? Now, it's quite unfortunately, it's me who is complaining. Okay, back to class. So when an attacker enters in your system, he can even crack your password. If he cracks your password, you are in on it. When he crack your password, he can even deny, he can bring the denial of service, whereby you what? Whereby you try to access your information or whatever data, you can't even enter in your system. You can even do a session hijacking, whereby if you are communicating to some people, he can take over the communication. He can hijack the system. He can be communicating to those people as if it is you, and the conversation will keep on flowing. Okay. The attacker can escalate privilege to obtain complete control. He can give himself a very high privileges, whereby the level, access level can be high, and he can take over the control. The time when you'll be arising, trying to that and that, this person has the complete take over your system, and that is bad. Any queries on this gaining, on the gaining? Any queries on the gaining access? Any queries on gaining? Yes, you are Lawrence. Yes,
Yes, sir.
coach.
I just want to find out since before you gain access to the system,
Yes.
uh, you can't jump minus scanning, right?
Yeah, you can't jump. Okay, you can't gain in a system without going to the process of called reconnaissance. I talked about reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is a gathering of the information about a certain. Scanning is one of the cognitions whereby you are still gaining you are scanning in order to gain the information about that particular network. When you have the enough information about that particular network or about particular organization, it's when you strike. You can't strike without any information. You can't. You can't just go and kill a person without knowing his weaknesses. The reason why we are doing reconnaissance, we want to what? We want to gain the information about that particular organization. That information is the information which we use in order to gain access. So you can't. You have to gain the particular more information about what credentials are you going to use. If you don't scan, if you don't gain the info, if you don't gather the enough information, you can't. So that's why we are saying with Christians, we are gathering the information. Remember, we talked about active and passive. So we said passive, we talked about it where someone doesn't know. So meaning you have been accessing his information or our information without our knowing. Without our knowing, you keep on accessing the information. Again, you started, you engage that particular person, it becomes the friend of yours, you are getting the information, and thereafter you strike. So you can't strike by Mr. Lawrence without gaining enough information. How are you going to strike it? Because you should know the weaknesses of that particular organization. Any queries? Is it clear, Lawrence?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it is clear, I saw the hand from, is it Madam Mary or who? I saw the hand. Was there
The same question, sir.
You had it?
The same question.
Madam, you can't have the same question. Okay, if it is the same question, I hope I've made myself clear there. Have you got it?
Yes.
Madam Mary, are you clear?
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay. Then after Naya, okay, I've talked about gaining. Let us talk about hacking phase, which is maintaining access. How do we maintain access? So reconnaissance and maintaining access refer to phase when an attacker tries to retain his or her own ownership of the system. This person is not the owner of the system. So this person wants to try to retain his or her ownership of the system. Remember, this person is an attacker. This person is an attacker. So he wants to maintain the word maintain, meaning he wants to be more or less like a permanent person. So you want to behave as if he is the owner. You want to be ownership. He owns that particular ownership of the system, meaning he can even delete a user. He can even delete a retreatment user. The owner who is authorized to add and remove people. You want to maintain that ownership. That is what we call maintaining access. Is referred to the phase when the attacker tries to retain his or her own ownership of the system. So while you are on a number, for example, you are there to Kapasama, so now you want to become more or less you have powers, even you have even more than a power of a VC, because you have entered in their system, you can do whatever. That is the meaning of maintaining access. See? Maintaining access. Okay. Let us look at the attacker may prevent the system from being owned by other attacker by securing their exclusive access with the backdoor, lockgate, and Trojan. So an attacker can do that. Okay. Attacker can approach, download, manipulate data, application, and configure on their own system. Remember, this person has all the credentials. He can even manipulate, he can configure your system without you knowing. Okay, an attacker uses the compromised system to launch further attack. He can use, because this person is inside, he can able to launch further attack in your system if things remain unchecked. Okay, any queries on that? Any queries? Any queries on the maintaining access? Any queries? Any mafunzo? Someone, you are joining this time. I'll stop allowing you after 10 minutes from the time when we started. So, because we can't be joining unless you have some network challenges. Okay. Any queries? Any mafunzo? System Sydney Nguruwe. Any queries? Lakson?
No, sir.
No, sir. No queries.
Okay. Kachoka? Kachoka is not here. Okay. If there is no queries, let us move on and see how best we can do these things. Let us look at this phase, which is clearing at tracks, clearing tracks, clearing tracks. So covering tracks refer to the activity carried out by an attacker to hide malicious act, whereby someone has done damage. Now he want to clear the tracks, to try to hide. Yeah? This is someone joining this at this hour. Okay. When someone is referred to activity carrying out by an attacker to hide malicious act, so that you can't know. You want to cover up. You can't even check. He's trying to hide the tracks. How how did he gain the access? You can't even track him. The attacker's intention include continuing access to the victim system remain unnoticed and caught. Delete evidence that might lead to easy prosecution. Even criminals, when killing people, when someone has been killed, they normally try to cover the tracks. For example, if they have, you may find that someone was killed somewhere. They go and dump him somewhere. They try to even to bury the body, or they can even try to ensure that they remove the tracks, especially on the part of blood. Equally in the system, an attacker may continue accessing the system, try by the all means to remain unnoticed. And try by the all means to remove the evidence that might lead to easy prosecution. Okay, the attacker overwrites the server system application logs to avoid suspicions. In the system, we have what we call system logs. Those logs, you can use them to find ways it can explain who does what date did that particular did an attack. So you can try by their own means to delete those logs. You can able to overwrite those logs where you can't even see, you can't even know that these things happen. So it is very, very important to do that. An attacker can able to overwrite the servers. System application can change a lot of things in order to avoid those issues of being traced. An attacker always cover tracks to hide their identity. So they normally do the cover up so that they hide their identity. So it is important to know that, to hide their identity so that they are not catched. The catching word here, we don't want as an attacker to be traced. So you have to ensure that you um, cover, or you bury all the tracks. There is no evidence. You are a free man, you are a good man. In the actual sense, you are a snake in the green grass. Okay. Even people who normally gossip people, they normally try to avoid being known. Those people who do wrong things on their friends, they don't like being traced. They don't like being known that they are bad people. No, they don't like. So they hide what we call tracks. They hide their identity by the all means so that they are not known. Okay, any queries there? Any mafunzo? Is it clear, guys? Abby?
Sir, my question is, since this organization, they implement on their security, they implement things like intrusion detection system. But why is it that they always get hacked? Why do they fail to detect those intruders? What happens there?
Okay. You know, these things sometimes, there are levels of, sometimes, what I can say, technology changes from every day, from time to time. Just look at Bank of Zambia. They're able to hack them. Pentagon was hacked. So what I can say is technology changes from every day. People every day are what? Are updated with technology. Immediately when you slag, you try, you go to sleep, then they will strike. So I can say, yes, you can have the protection, 100% protection. Let me give you an example. You may have a child. Niwe mfyashi, niwe mtwala kusukuru, niwe musende omwana kashi. Ngawera nipanga ndafi. But walasa sanga tiyo na prefumu. Evo fini. But niwe musende. Aisa sonta no mwa umeumbia tinyunyo. Wapapa no kupapati. How did they, where were they meeting these people? So what I'm trying to say is technology moves from stages to stages. Immediately when you go to sleep, that's why we in the first preamble I talked about non-recognitions. Recognitions, you gather information. You get the information about what? About those people whom you want to attack. You gather the information before you launch an attack. So technology changes from every day. So immediately when you go to sleep, then you are attacked. That's why I said, first you have to gather the information. Remember I said there is passive recognitions and active recognitions. You keep an attacker, if you're an attacker, you are supposed to have that patience. You can be gathering the information for many, many years about a particular organization. And maybe after 10 years, then it's when you launch an attack. Because you have enough information. You have enough evidence. Maybe they have gone to sleep. They are not patching up their systems, operating system, applications. Through that, you gain access. So it's not that you are going to attack today. No, that's what we are saying. You gain, you gather the information about that particular issue. Is it clear, sir?
Yes, sir, it's clear. But sir, so on the part where you said that
you can have all the tools. Just imagine Pentagon. They had all the tools, those intrusion detection, whatever they had, but they were attacked. Immediately, sometimes, sometimes you can have, I can ask you one question. You find that in a state house, which is ever protected, every day is being protected 24 hours, someone can gain access. That's why, remember, there is outside attacker and inside attacker. Sometimes someone can gain be getting the information from the people inside. I'll learn more on the social engineering, and you appreciate that social engineering is very, very important. It's part of what. So that is another topic on its own. Okay.
All right. Yes, it's clear.
Okay. I saw the hand from, is it Lawrence Tembo? I saw the hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wanted to add on what you are saying about the question that Abby asked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Now you have answered.
You can add in your own explanation. It's very, very important.
Yes, on my own understanding, I think looking at where we're coming from, you said first the hacker first must gather the information. So you need first to understand, as you said, we need first to understand the system of the particular organization that you want to hack. Then you can launch an attack after gathering the information.
Better, yes. Okay, that is lovely. You can't launch an attack, guys, without gathering the information. What are you going to use? What tools are you going to use? Because after gathering the information, it will now tell you the tools to use and what method are you going to use. You should know. You can't just launch an attack without gathering the information. That's why reconnaissance comes in. And remember, reconnaissance, I said there is active and passive. So you can differentiate them, active and passive. I expect you to know the difference between passive reconnaissance and active reconnaissance. So you have to know that. So you have to ensure that you gather the information. Okay, any queries? Any queries? Any mafunzo? Subtraction, additional? Addition, subtraction? Sidney Group, are you okay?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, that's lovely. Malasha, we had Malasha in our class. Is she here? Malasha, where is it? She's gone. Are you with her? We had the Malasha in that class. Okay, Madam Mary, you are okay?
Yes, sir.
Chimunya, Chimunya, you. Are you okay? Are you clear, Madam Chimunya? Okay, that is good. So we have done information security overview. We have done information security threats and attack vector. We have done hacking concept, types and phases. We have talked about it. We are now going to tackle ethical hacking concept and scope. That is what we are going to do at 17 hours. Any queries before we close this class? so that some people can be cooking, can be eating. For any information, 17 hours on the dot. It's better you wait for me. 7 hours, ensure that every day, not until I finish this class on first Saturday, on Saturday, yes, on Saturday or Sunday. So ensure that you are in class 7 hours. Tomorrow, 7 hours on the dot. 17 hours, we have a class. 17 hours today. So we'll be having classes 7 hours to 8 hours. Then in the 17 hours up to 19, we having class. Please join class using the same link, although I'll be reminding you here and there. If you lose track from the beginning, it becomes a problem. So I pity those people who are not here, those who are not who are shining introduction. If you are shining introduction, as we go on, you'll be in trouble. So you'll be having practical when you start learning with Mr. Siatara. He will be taking you. You'll be doing practicals with you. Please pay much attention. Pay much attention. We want by next year you become the gurus of hacking. You start hacking things. But we are not here to teach people who are black hacker, white hacker, white hatter. White hatter. That is what we want. Not to become a terrorist attacker. No. We don't want that. Any queries before we call it a, I can't say a day. We call it this hour. Because a day will definitely need at the end of the day. Any queries?
No.
Any doubting Thomas on what?
Oh, sir, no questions, sir.
Okay. If you don't have questions, I think we'll meet at 17 hours to 19 hours. God bless you. Bye.